I like to exercise, and that kind of jostling my body around definitely shook things up, so I kind of had to cut back on, like, jogging was what I really like to do, and that would really bring on my symptoms, so I had to cut that back, and that was kind of painful, because I like to think that something like exercise is good for you, and then to not do it so you can feel better is kind of a catch-22, so that was really kind of disturbing for me. I can remember being at a meeting, and I think sort of stress kind of helped contribute to things. So like I was at an important meeting off-site, and I left the meeting and just like put my car seat back for like an hour because I just had horrible abdominal pains. But one thing that did come out of it was I could empathize with other people that had allergy problems and things like that, and really talk with them on a lot deeper level. You know, whenever you're going through problems of your own, talking to somebody else with similar condition, you really kind of feel connected with them. So, and that's how I got referred to Feline, was through somebody else they had allergy problems, their kid had allergy problems, and we started talking, and I really felt connected to them and trusted them. And they told me that you'd be prepared for some alternative thinking, so I tried to be prepared for that. I started out with a general practitioner, just like a family doctor, and he kind of always related things that he's experienced, and if you told him you had a headache, he'd be like, oh, I had a headache once, here's what you need to do. You know, he had no big picture sort of skills. I figured I would take it to the top, you know, go to a gastroenterologist, which I thought would be the most professional, most, you know, appropriate person. So, you know, you go into their office, and it's kind of funny because you see all of the samples from the salesmen all around their office, all the products, the notepads they write on, the pens that they have, it's all products. So what are they going to do? They're going to just recommend some product to you, you know, that the salesman has just dropped off. I mean, they're professionals, they're professionals, you know, to a certain extent, but not if they're trying to rip you off or skate out on their, you know, skip out on their work, but that's just kind of what they've been conditioned to do. So each time I went in, it was just, whoosh, here's a prescription. Okay, that didn't work, next time, whoosh, here's a prescription. The prescriptions I was taking before I came to see Feline were on and off. Sometimes I would get results and sometimes not. I would look for patterns. I'm kind of an analytical person, and they were just kind of spotty. It wasn't a real strong pattern. And I was reading online some people that said that they had started taking this and then they couldn't get off it, or things escalated, and so that kind of worried me, because the people I'd read about online talked about sort of irreversible symptoms once they started on this sort of hardcore medication. The nature of the diet Feline recommended, I would call it an elimination diet. It involved eliminating certain trigger foods, and I worked through her list, and then I found on my own several other foods that should be on the list also, for me, my own list. Cashews, pistachios, it was all protein based basically. So I think the allergy is protein based. Because you really have to get specific, you really have to treat it seriously when it comes to food elimination. One little, you know, drop of cheese or, you know, egg yolk or something on your food can make a huge difference, so you really have to take it seriously. Staying on the diet can be very difficult, it can be very trying, it can be very tempting, but what I found was the other side, the sort of the punishment was right there when I didn't comply with the diet. So if you don't want to have the symptoms, you need to take the diet very seriously. So in a sense, that made life easier. It wasn't like, well, actually, sometimes it's tricky, because the punishment for getting off the diet can be delayed 3 or 4 days. But if you pay attention to what you're doing, keep a food diary, you realize that the problem that you're having is due to some cheating that you did 2, 3, 4 days ago that either accumulates or just has a delayed effect working through your system. So once you get serious about it and you realize the effects are being caused by the little bit of veering off the diet, it becomes easier to stay on it. One of the ways that I cope with staying on the diet is just to have sort of a drawer full of food in my office that I can eat. And it takes a while going through health food stores to figure out what specifically you can eat that's still interesting to you, or, you know, a little treat or snack. It takes a while to figure all that out. And once you do, though, you stick with it, you get used to it, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it to stay on the diet once you figure it out. Since I've been on the diet for so long and worked through the Feline's programs, I feel like I can live a normal life, which, you know, you redefine normal for a while you're really in the throes of your illness. You know, normal becomes, you know, bring in an extra pair of shorts or whatever when you go jogging, you know, but now that stuff doesn't even cross my mind. I feel confident doing the things that were problems before, such as exercising and traveling.